Hi, I'm Grae Drake, Critics' Choice Association member, and this is In Conversation with costume designer Janty Yates, costume designer David Crossman, visual effects supervisor Mark Bakowski, and production designer Arthur Max, all members from the creative team of Paramount Pictures' Gladiator II. I wanted to start off, let's start out with costumes. Janty and David. Janty, what were the challenges in revisiting this universe that you had created, being true to the time, but also giving this a fresh new take?
It was very exciting, actually, because it was 24 years ago that we did the last one. So a lot of things have changed. And it was a wonderful, wonderful joy to give the military to David, because he's so superb at everything he does. And his Praetorians put mine to shame. And all of them, the gladiators, they all put all my military from the first one to shame. So he freed me up to do a lot more detailing and a lot more research, and just basically with Denzel, for example, investigating the Orientalist painters that Ridley so loves. We were still with Alma Tadema, who is Ridley's go-to for Roman wear, as well as Roman everything, I think Arthur will tell you. So I was allowed a lot more time, and I was given more opportunity to spread my wings.
Which must be a great feeling, especially on a project of this scale. But David, it seems like your relationship with Janty is just musical almost. Can you talk about all of this collaboration combined with the enormous amount of work that you took on?
Well, I've known Janty since I was about like 18, something like that, or 18 or 19. So we've known each other a very long time. We've worked together a few times. And so, it's a very easy relationship. I know what Janty likes and doesn't like. And, we work together very well. And it's thanks to Janty that I'm on jobs like these, like Napoleon before Gladiator this time around. And so once we'd got over the kind of initial huge order, just trying to get the numbers together for what we needed in Morocco, then it was a nice chance to kind of use on this Gladiator. I think the difference was we had a kind of specialist leather maker from Rome, Gianpaolo Grassi, who made the principal armors for Paul and Pedro Pascal, and so we were able to do a nice kind of craftsman-like kind of setup in London while the kind of mass armor was being made kind of all around the world, really. So it was logistically very difficult, but a nice opportunity to use kind of good craftspeople.
Where do these unbelievable pieces of art, meaning the costumes, actually live now? Where do they go?
Oh, that's terrible. It's like having children and giving them away to an orphanage.
Oh.
Yeah, there's somewhere locked up in a box in the Paramount archives. So it's
Yes, they're probably in the Mojave Desert gathering dust. We don't know. We just don't know.
there are a lot of foyers of a few movie houses and stuff at the moment, and then they'll move on to a box, I suppose.
I think as a movie fan, I picture all of these things living in some kind of Indiana Jones warehouse.
Unfortunately, it is a bit like that. I went to the 20th Century Fox warehouse, and it was pitch dark, and you were stumbling around in the dark. We did find the helmets that we wanted, however, and they are there and they're safe, and I'm sure they're very well looked after. But it's when you give birth to these children, you can't say goodbye to them easily. And actually, on the first Gladiator, just very quickly, DreamWorks took everything from the trucks, just took everything, even the books and everything. And they turned up on eBay, or the equivalent of eBay, about 6 months later. Joachim's armor, a couple of dresses of Connie's, and even a Jelliber for Oliver Reed, which only got, I think, they were asking $12 for.
I hope that someone had an amazing Halloween that year. Um, I mean, alongside the costumes, Arthur, I want to talk to you about just the Colosseum because the costumes are grand in this unbelievable setting, but so much of this movie is kind of a mixture of something that does exist versus something that was also built later that maybe actors couldn't even see. Can you describe the Colosseum for us? Because it was amazing.
Well, the whole world knows the Colosseum. It's one of the icons of architecture. Um, and pretty much we just rebuilt it as we did on the first one to match so that there was continuity with some of the footage that we see in flashback. The only change that we made really was to make it taller to accommodate the water when we did the naval battle in there. And also to let the boats in through the main arch, everything had to go vertically higher. The details of the architecture, all the statues, the color palette was kind of matching exactly to what we did on the first movie. That was the easy part, really. We extended a very big set that we did for Kingdom of Heaven, which was probably one of the biggest sets I've ever designed. And we made it bigger still.
I could think of so many really noteworthy moments from the like involving water, the ship battle, we've got the rhino. Can you talk about that marriage of something practical with something digital?
Well, I'm a big advocate, believer of trying to shoot it real. I think it gives everyone something to hang on to. Like sometimes it ends up being replaced. That's reality. But it's still a great reference and it's still a great grounding to go, that's how the light looked on the day. That's what the camera move should be. That's what Ridley liked or whatever. So you can always look at it and go, A, it's something to build from. Arthur's amazing sets, Janty's amazing costumes and David's amazing costumes, etc. So it's something to build from already visually. It's designed to work from. And it's something, yeah, it's like even if you end up changing it or augmenting it slightly, you can still point at it and go, I like this, and this, but could we just change the speed of the camera, or could we just change the amount of soldiers, whatever? And we know we've got something to point at to go, well, let's make it like that, but bringing in Ridley's comments about X, Y, or Z. So all for it.
Is there like a small thing in the movie that's just your favorite to look at, Mark?
I think to me the whole opening battle, I think is it's not a small thing at all, but it's my favorite bit. So can I say that in the opening battle that Arthur referred to in the new media, because all that water, it's all digital all the way through the whole thing. Most of the crowds are digital. Large parts of the set are digital. In the end, the extensions of it and so on. The ships are digital. Lots of the arrows. So lots and lots of work in there. I think hopefully people buy into. So I'm particularly proud of that.
Since some of you are very long-time collaborators with Ridley Scott, but some of you are newer, I wanted to ask you very quickly if you could just tell us one of the most surprising things about working with the great Sir Ridley Scott.
Endless energy. He's exhaustingly energetic. It's extraordinary. I feel so like 110 next to him. It's extraordinary. Plus, he's very visual, he's painterly, and he's inspirational. That's it. Inspirational.
I like his decision process sometimes when you're up against it. Time you can just ask him anything basically, and he'll just give you a really good answer. It's always a kind of good, clear direction on things.
He's a film school on two legs. And, you learn a lot as you go from him, because he's so experienced on every level of filmmaking. So on one level, it's very easy because he's very clear and decisive. And then sometimes he'll throw you a sudden turn in the program and present a challenge, which, that's also kind of fun to try and meet.
Mark, you're newer at this, yeah?
Yeah, but that all sounds familiar to me. Can I swear on this thing? Am I allowed to swear?
Yes, I'm going to say yes. Bold statement by me, yes.
He's hilarious. He's so funny. You listen to him on Channel 1 on the radio and he's talking things in. I remember one time he goes, I want 4 fucking donkeys and I want them now. And these donkeys turned up.
That's all the time that we have today, but thank you so much for sharing your time with us. The Critics' Choice Association is really grateful. This has been In Conversation, and please thank our guests out there in cyberspace. For production designer Arthur Max, visual effects supervisor Mark Bakowski, costume designer David Crossman, and costume designer Janty Yates. My name is Grae Drake. Happy awards season, everybody!